Good morning, cadets. Yesterday we have studied motion of system of particles. Motion of system of n number of particles. Now it is continuation. Today we shall learn about the linear momentum of a system of n particles. Consider a system of n particles having masses m1, m2, m3 and so on, having n number of particles. And we know from the previous knowledge, if P is the linear momentum of mass m and v is its velocity, then linear momentum of mass m with velocity v vector is given by P vector equal to m into v, is given by P vector equal to n into v. Now we are considering system of particles having n number of particles. System of n number of particles. Then each particle will be having its own velocity. v1 the velocity of particle of mass m1, v2 velocity of second particle of mass m2, v3 is the velocity of mass m3 and so on. And so on, vn is velocity of the nth particle of mass mn. So if we calculate the total momentum of these particles, that total momentum is going to be the vector sum of all these momenta. Vector sum of all these momenta is going to give us the total momentum of center of mass. How is this? Yesterday we have studied that m into r vector is equal to m1 r1 vector plus m2 r2 vector plus and so on up to mn rn vector. Right? Where r is the position vector of center of mass and m is the mass of center of mass, which is equal to sum of all the masses m1 plus m2 plus m3 and so on. So if you differentiate this with respect to time t, we get velocity. Differentiating with respect to time t, when the system of particles having n number of particles, when it is in motion, then it is changing its position with respect to time t. So if you differentiate this, we get m dr by dt is equal to m1 dr1 by dt plus m2 dr2 by dt and so on, n particle mn drn by dt. By our knowledge, previous knowledge, we know that dr by dt is equal to velocity vector. So we have already done this yesterday. I am just repeating the same thing. This implies m into v, where v gives us velocity of center of mass, r is the position vector of center of mass. So capital V vector represents velocity of center of mass. If you want, you can write VCM equal to m1 v1 vector plus m2 v2 vector plus m3 v3 vector and so on up to mn vn vector. So this is product of mass of the total system of n particles and velocity of center of mass. So the left hand side gives us the momentum of center of mass. So thus I will write momentum of center of mass, PCM, momentum of center of mass is equal to vector sum of P1 plus P2 plus P3 and so on up to Pn. So this implies the total momentum of system of particles, the total momentum of system of particles is the product of mass of center of mass and the velocity of center of mass, which is equal to vector sum of all the momentum of all the particles, where you can write vector P1 corresponds to m1 v1 vector, vector P2 corresponds to m2 v2 vector, and so on. Vector Pn corresponds to mn vn vector. So this is the important thing that we are discussing. This gives us linear momentum of system of particles. So this implies the total linear momentum of system of particles n particles is equal to vector sum of linear momentum is a singular, momenta is plural. Momentum is singular, momenta is plural. So vector sum of linear momenta of all individual particles. This is, you see, left hand side is a total linear momentum of the system of particles, which is also equal to product of total mass of the system, and velocity of center of mass, which is equivalent to the left hand side. Now this leads to one interesting thing. If there is an external force acting on this particle, then external force according to Newton's second law is given by F is equal to, if F external is the external force acting on the system of particles, then according to Newton's second law, F external is equal to dP by dt, dPcm by dt, where dPcm by dt implies the time rate of change of the momentum of center of mass. Time rate of change of momentum of center of mass gives us the external force. So this is the equation which we got yesterday as m into a, where a is the acceleration. So you can just see here Pcm can be written as, what is Pcm? Pcm, we know that is mvcm. So if you differentiate this dP by dt, if you differentiate it, then m into dPcm by dt. dPcm by dt. What is dPcm by dt? It is acceleration. So thus we got m into a vector, where a vector, capital A vector, purposely I have written capital A vector, it is the acceleration vector of the center of mass. Yes, this is the interesting fact. So before that, the total linear momentum of a system of particles is equal to vector sum of all the linear momentum of the individual particles. Now let us say, if this system of particles is in an isolated system, what do you mean by isolated system? If there is no external force acts not even gravity. If a system is there having n number of particles in an isolated system where there is no external force acting on it, then F external becomes 0. If F external becomes 0, then dP by dt becomes 0. dP by dt, rate of change of total momentum of the system, is 0. Means it does not change with respect to time. Then total momentum of the system remains constant. This is nothing but the conservation of linear momentum of system of particles. Let us write the equation for conservation of linear momentum of system of particles. So look here, consider the system of particles is in an isolated system where there is no external force acting on it. When there is no external force acting on it, then F external is equal to 0. This implies dP by dt, which we just now got, dPcm by dt becomes equal to 0 because there is no force. Then this implies there is no change of Pcm with respect to time. Rate of change of Pcm equal to 0 means Pcm remains constant, does not change at all with respect to time. So Pcm equal to constant, what does it mean? We know that Pcm is equal to P1 vector plus P2 vector plus P3 vector and so on. Pn vector, this is totally remaining constant. So this is the statement of law of conservation of linear momentum for a system of n particles. So this itself is the law of conservation of system of n particles. What does it say? In an external force, in an isolated system, in an isolated system, in an isolated system, we assume the mass of the particles do not change and the system of particles is moving with some constant velocity, that is constant velocity of system of particles, that is constant velocity of center of mass. Then in an isolated system where external force is 0, the linear momentum of system of particles, linear momentum of system of particles is conserved. It remains constant. What does it mean? Pcm is equal to constant. Let us say Pcm is equal to constant. What is Pcm? Mass of the entire body or mass of the center of mass into velocity of center of mass. Remain constant. Since we assume the mass of the center of mass or mass of the entire system of n particles is constant, so this implies velocity of center of mass is constant. Here m is constant. This implies velocity of center of mass is also constant. Look here, velocity of center of mass is a vector quantity. So it's a constant, means the center of mass of system of n particles moves with uniform velocity along the straight line. Moves with uniform velocity along the straight line. This implies the velocity of center of mass velocity of center of mass of system of n particles moves with uniform velocity with the constant speed along straight line. Uniform velocity means constant speed along a straight line. This is important conclusion. Center of mass doesn't change its direction at all. Not only its direction changes, its magnitude also continues to be having the same value of speed as well as mass. That is the meaning of law of conservation of system of n particles. Now let us solve some simple problems, and then later on we will continue with law of conservation of system of n particles. Let us solve some simple problems. Okay, for the derivation that we have done regarding law of conservation of momentum, the question may be asked like this: show that for an isolated system, the center of mass of system of n particles moves with uniform velocity along a straight line. Prove that in an isolated system, the velocity of center of mass remains uniform and center of mass moves along straight line. This is the question for the derivation that we have done. Now let us see the next question. This is a numerical problem based on calculation of velocity of center of mass. There are two particles of mass 100 gram and 300 gram. At a given time, they have velocities 10I minus 7j minus 3k meter per second and 7I minus 9j plus 6k meter per second respectively. This is the velocity of 100 gram and the second one is the velocity of 300 gram mass. Only two masses are there. It is a system of two particles. Calculate the velocity of center of mass. You are asked to calculate the velocity of center of mass. So we will go by the usual method. We have just now got the relation. We have m into velocity of center of mass is equal to m1 v1 vector plus m2 v2 vector for a system of two particles. So we are taking a system of two particles where v1 vector is the velocity of first particle and v2 vector is the velocity of second particle. Vcm vector is the velocity vector of center of mass. And what is m? M is the total mass of the system, or it is also called mass of center of mass. Therefore, Vcm becomes equal to m1 v1 vector plus m2 v2 vector divided by m, where we know mass of total system is equal to m1 plus m2. Here m1 is 100 gram. Look here, m1 is 100 gram and m2 is 300 gram. So total mass of the system now becomes 400 gram. This is the mass of the center of mass or mass of the two particle system. And what is v1? v1 vector is equal to, write this, 10 I cap plus, it is minus here, 10 I cap minus 7j cap, 7j cap minus 3k cap. This is v1 vector. Then similarly, what is v2 vector? v2 vector velocity of the second particle 7 I cap minus 9 j cap plus 6 k cap. So we have to substitute all these values in the given equation. Therefore, this implies VCM is equal to M1. M1 is 100 gram, 100 into V1 vector 10 I cap minus 7 j cap minus 3 k cap plus M2. What is M2? M2 is 300 gram. 300 gram into, again you substitute the value of V2, 7 I cap minus 9 j cap plus 6 k cap. 7I minus 9j plus 6k whole divided by M1 plus M2. We got 400. Directly we will write 400. So there is no need to convert gram into kilogram because gram cancels. Gram is there in the numerator, gram is there in the denominator, gram cancels. So now you take out the common. If you take out 100 as the common, then 100 divided by 400. Okay. 100. If you take out 100, then you are left with 10 I cap minus 7 j cap minus 3 k cap plus out of 100 you will be left with here 3. If you take out 100 common, you will be left here with 3. 3 into 7 I cap minus 9 j cap plus 6 k cap. Whole divided by 400. So 0 cancels. You are left with only 4 in the denominator. Only 4 is left in the denominator. So this you simplify now. If you just simplify, this becomes 10 I cap minus 7 j cap minus 3 k cap plus 3 7s are 21 plus 21 I cap minus 3 9s are 27. 27 j cap 3 6s are 18 plus 18 k cap. So you have to be careful here while multiplying. Whole divided by 4. Now simplify. Add those with I cap, coefficients of I cap. 21 plus 10, it becomes 31 I cap. Then minus 7 minus 27, it becomes minus 34 j cap. Minus 3 plus 18, minus 3 plus 18, it becomes plus 50. Plus 50 k cap. This is how we have done previously, addition of vectors. Whole divided by 4. So much of meter per second. So this is the velocity of center of mass. Velocity of center of mass. So if you want, you can still further simplify this, or you can leave it. So this gives us velocity of center of mass. If the question is asked, calculate the acceleration of center of mass, what will be your answer? The answer is going to be 0 because velocity is constant. Velocity doesn't change with respect to time. Both the particles also, they are moving with same velocity at that given interval of time. So acceleration, if you calculate, acceleration is going to be 0. So this is how you need to calculate for certain numerical problems. I think it is quite clear. So please solve this, practice it. It will be a simple problem. The main thing that you need to remember is this equation of linear momentum of center of mass. So I am just giving you one simple problem. Prove that the center of mass of system of two particles, divides the line joining the particles in the inverse ratio of their masses. So I will give you hint. We know the equation for center of mass, position of center of mass. You take the product, okay, mr is equal to m1 r1 vector plus m2 r2 vector, right? Where m1 is the mass of first particle, m2 is the mass of second particle, r1 vector is the position of first particle, r2 vector is the position of second particle, m is the mass of center of mass, which is equal to m1 plus m2, r vector is the position vector of center of mass, right? Now you are asked to prove that the center of mass of the two particle system divides the line joining the two particles, draw the diagram, in the inverse ratio of their masses. m1 by m2 must be equal to r2 by r1. This is what you are supposed to prove. I can give you hint. Choose this position vector of center of mass as origin. Choose the position vector of center of mass as origin. You will get the result. I think you will do it, right? Okay. So tomorrow we will discuss the very important applications of law of conservation of linear momentum of system of particles. Okay. Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye.